This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. Welcome to the X&C Podcast, and thank you for being here. It is April 21st. It's a Monday, and we've got a lot to talk about. And instead of Mag, instead of middle-aged game guy, we have the wonderful, the amazing, that blue number from the fame of the internet. She has her own YouTube channel, super famous, and kind of a Doom super fan. How are you? And a real life friend, I have to say. I mean, not that that means anything to anybody else, but it does to me. How are you?
Good. I am not middle-aged game guy. I'm not in. If you guys go to Colt's Twitter feed, you will see that face in this room. He was just here a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Visiting. Took a picture here. I'm good. Thank you for asking me to come on.
Yeah, she's practically best friends with my wife, and so yeah, that's why we went. You know, she's like, we got to go hang out with her, and so yeah, it's pretty amazing to be in the place where you make content, and it's like magic, you know, being where people do the content stuff. But how have you been? Like, how are you feeling? Are you still a fan of gaming? Are you angry? Are you excited? Tell us about it.
That's funny. We had a really interesting conversation Friday night on the Infinite podcast, which is on Risket's channel. Mag's best friend. We had a conversation about are just gamers angry all the time, right? Is this just the new state of gaming? And I feel like it's a really nuanced topic that, like, I'm waiting for one of, like, the Act Man or Legendary Drops or somebody, that's out there in the big Twitter sphere, in the YouTube sphere, to make a video about the actual, like, state of gamers, not the state of gaming. I feel like that would be a really, really good video.
That would be really good
there's
because
probably a lot to that.
There is a lot of people covering this, like Legendary Drops. He's such a talent. And he covers the state of gaming or the state of developers or publishers really, really well. But wouldn't you guys love to hear that? Maybe that's your video you need to make. You need to do a deep dive into the intellect and the emotional attachment, because I do feel the same way. That seems like gamers are cranky, but we're getting more games than ever before, and prices are going up. I don't know. Like, when you take a step back, what are you seeing from, like, the connection to the internet, the way people are reacting to the changes in gaming?
To me, when I make this video, you should come and watch it, which probably will be done 5 times over by the time I figure out how to do that. I think it's like it's a heavily nuanced topic in the fact that, like, there's the industry on the whole. Like, we as gamers get to or do, whether or depending on your perspective, we engage with a lot of the development industry, right? Like, we engage with the actual devs on the teams, we engage with some management, we engage with artists, just a wide gamut, of everybody in the gamer sphere. And I would like for somebody to tell me the last time that they were able to tweet at a movie star, right, and get an actual response.
Yeah.
Or or somebody who owns AMC, or something like that, right? Like, the equivalent. There is not really an equivalency in another portion of media or in entertainment, right? That there's that level of interaction or that level of engagement. So that could be good and bad, right? We've seen it go both ways. I think that's one nuance. And then I just think that the world itself has changed very rapidly in, like, the last 5 to 8 years. And with that comes, everything is kind of a trickle down cycle, right? And especially in gaming, like how we see all of these live service now, right? When live service was really starting to pick up in like 2020, 2021, right? When that's when your game wanted your live service games to hit, right? To get that market share.
And you're stuck at home.
But yeah, exactly, right? Because that was the money spot. But I think a lot of the world stuff has sort of been trickling down too, and I think that has created a lot of external pressure on people. And then when they go to their hobby and they see that external pressure being exerted through their hobby, then they get frustrated. And then it just leads to a whole bunch of different things. That's my thought.
I have a lot to reply with that, because that's so perfect what you said, because there have been so many changes, and I know that people can look into the idiosyncrasies of all of the things of development, and it can rob them of the joy of gaming. And I see it often. I have a close friend who has kind of stepped away from all the talk, the reporting, the content, and just wants to play games. I always give it a pause, make sure everything picks back up. You and I were talking about Marathon. We'll use this as an example. The Marathon game, like, from a tried and true studio, but as soon as it's shown, 60 to 80% of the voices that are replying or responding to Marathon are like, it's going to fail. It's DOA. It looks like trash. And, that could be, some of that has to do with Marathon, but don't we see this with major franchises returning or big games, anything big? It's like you're guilty first before you're proven innocent when it comes to whether something is going to be good or not. People are so incredulous of that they're going to enjoy something. Their first response, and maybe I'm wrong, Holly, their first response is does it suck? Before they're like, I can't wait to play this to see how fun it is or not, right?
Yeah, it is, and it's a shame, right? Because what led us to this point, right? Is it the fact that now most of the games that we get require day 1 patches or day 30 patches, or you know what I mean? Where we're not getting the full product, things are a little half baked. Is it the fact that politics has entered the market? Is it the fact that it's very obvious in some circumstances that it's all a cash grab, right? Like there's all of these little things, I think, that just add up to people be the average normal person who's not looking to be angry at everything anyway, or looking for clickbait and the engagement that it drives. The average person who is kind of a little bit leery about the next big game that looks a little suspicious, because I think a lot of us watch a trailer and like I feel like it's fair to say that a lot of us who watch trailers can look at it and say, that looks good, but there's a little something off and I can't quite tell you what it is yet, right? You don't know, but you're just like, huh, right? And then there's other games where you don't get that vibe at all, like Doom. Doom looks freaking awesome. I haven't heard anybody say anything.
Really.
Well, yeah, I heard one person say something negative about Doom, but I don't care.
Yeah,
right?
Looks like a downgrade.
Like,
I got to, before you go off of this excellent point you made, I feel like 10 years ago, when a trailer was about to come out, we grabbed like our fork and knife, like the big bad wolf from like the cartoons, and we would we would salivate, and we would slam our fork and knives on the table and say, and we'd hit play. Let's see this trailer. And now I feel like so many of us, and I do it too, I go to watch the Naked Gun reboot trailer, and I'm like, I already know I'm not going to like this. And then the whole time I'm just picking it apart. And I feel like instead of banging the fork and knife on the table and salivating, we're like, let's see if I'm going to be angry and hate all of it. So,
am I right? Tell me I'm right. Yeah, just to be validated, not, And I'm happy when I'm wrong, when I think it looks sus, right? Like Avowed is a perfect example. I was just like, I don't know. I'm going to play it because I love Obsidian. They're fantastic, but I don't know. And then I played it and I'm like, it's amazing. Within like 2 hours, I was like, it's fine. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to going on. Right. But And I'm happy I'm wrong. I'm not like, yes, I'm validated. I'm like, well, that's a shame. Like Marathon. I really want Marathon to be fantastic.
DeMarco
I
dude in the
don't
chat.
have.
You
Yeah.
don't have what?
Hey. I just don't have the faith that it's going to be fantastic. From my initial viewings.
I know, and I hate to say it out loud. I'm sure you probably do.
I
too.
know.
I
want them to. I want it to be good. Yeah, I want it to be good. I really, really do. Right?
I actually want it to be good, even though I don't think I'm still probably not going to really play it. I still want it to be good. I sat next to. Can I name drop?
I feel like that's fair.
I
name drop that I'm on your show.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of mean funny there, but I sat next to Ryan McCaffrey at the Doom event. We were talking about Ubisoft, and Assassin's Creed Shadows was brand new and everything. And Ryan McCaffrey is so quiet. He's such a nice guy, but he said, I think I said it on the show a few weeks ago. He said, we need more developers and studios, not fewer, because we were talking about if Shadows would make it or fail or not. And he said that, and that comes when Ryan says that, you know, he means we need so much like health in this industry, because Ubisoft used to be like one of the greats, 10 years ago. They were always doing great things. DeMarco dude in the chat, who is a part of your podcast with the Renegade Realm podcast, a hilarious dude. Shout out to him. I got to find out his little comment here. He says, I think if developers were quieter on their projects, released their games true to their vision, and didn't let gamers backseat develop, it would make a big difference. He said, there's too much focus to please gamers. I think that's freaking phenomenal comment. You and I have said behind the scenes, just shut up and make your game, right? We had a problem with one developer who was outspoken and nearly derailed one of their studio's games because he wanted to, he had a bone to chew politically or socially, right? And I don't want to tell developers what to do, but I'm like, you kind of need to just be quiet and let your awesome product just shine on its own, and let the marketing people.
I know.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said for the fact that, like, it's your personal account, right? Like, everybody's free to believe what they want, all that stuff, right? But a lot of people follow you because of your job and because of where you work and the notoriety that brings with it, right? It's not like you have an alternate name that you use for work. You use your name, right? So then people follow you on your personal account, and it's hard because when people know where you work, they follow you. And so people are partially following you because of that. So you sort of have a fiduciary responsibility to your employer because of the status that it brings or the relationship that you have with your employer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
and people are watching. People are watching you. If they know your name, they know you're a something director or developer on a studio. They're watching to see what you say, because we're looking for morsels all the time. And welcome to the Ecstasy podcast. As maybe we'll just start the show now. This is pretty good. We're going to Holly, that blue number, and I are going to talk about, and I'm going to refer to her as Holly throughout the show. I think that's okay. I want the lawyer. Let me check my lawyers. Hold on. Oh, I don't have any lawyers. So sue away. We're going to talk a lot about what to show and what to talk about, and things that, like, gaming fans and journalists and leakers like digging into every single piece of evidence. And sometimes it's really, really cool. Sometimes it can lead to disappointment. But before we get started, I want to thank everybody for being here. This is episode 197. Mag is not here because he's on, I guess it would be a Canadian Easter break. And over in Canada, the All Hallowed Moose, who lays gigantic oblong eggs for Easter. They come out striped and really cool designs on them. The All Hallowed Moose will crawl and drag his butt across the grass, across all the wonderful plains of Canada, and bring gifts and toys to all the little children. So Mag is out doing that. I think that's their religion, something like that. But that Mag will be back next week. And so I thought, let's get that blue number in here, who knows more about gaming than me, and we'll have a good talk about it. But before we do, let's talk about what we've been playing, because you've been playing games with me and our friends. So what have you been doing this past week?
I have been all over the gaff with these games. I have been playing a little game that everyone might know called Borderlands 3 with Colt and our good friend Dante and Mr. Fonzarelli.
Yep.
That's fun. And it's funny because I started streaming Tales from the Borderland, the old Telltale game, this last weekend, because, you know, we're all kind of doing this like ramp up for Borderlands 4 coming in the fall. And so chat heard that I was playing Borderlands 3 and they're like, what do you think about this story? I'm like, I don't know. We run through the levels so fast. I don't know. I was like, I'll just watch it.
All I know is we kept the mustache.
We just kept running and we kept the mustache. That was my choice. That's it. Yes.
That was the big story beat. Yeah.
It was the one thing that I knew for sure what was happening in the story. Incidentally, Reese is in Tales from the Borderlands.
Oh, right. He is. Yeah. I haven't played that, but he's one of the main guys in it, right?
He is. Yes. Yeah. Yes. So I was like, oh, that's Reese. So anyway,
SG818 says 3 sucks compared to 1 and 2. Sorry. No, we kind of feel the same. But the interesting thing is, I didn't like 3 really at all in 2019. And replaying it with Red Wolf played with us one night and playing it with Holly and Fonz and Dante. I don't know. I just had this new appreciation for the feel of the game. The visuals are outstanding. And I don't know if he's here. I've been watching all of the chat, but Game Seeker, a good friend of mine, sent me the Govee dynamic lighting for the back of my TV. And I was playing with these guys the other night and playing with Game Seeker as well. And the lights on my wall were just going crazy from all the color. I normally don't want to like spoil Borderlands 4 by Borderlandsing it up right now, but we can't help it. We're having a good time. So,
well, I didn't play 3 either. So this is my first playthrough. I love those games. They're just fun. The world is really good, and I love that cel shaded art. But anyway, I've been playing that. I've been playing Fallout 76. I've been playing Call of Duty because I always do, and I've been playing Blueprints. And I always think this is the run.
You love it?
I do. I really. But I like puzzle games. So if you don't like puzzle games, you won't like this. It's very good. It's very good. But it's also very chill. It needs a better soundtrack because it has like very little to no music. So you almost like need something else going on in the background. So and every time I'm like, this is the run, and it's never the run. So and I've been playing the Division, and I went back to Avowed.
Sorry.
What?
Magnum says, Did Randy Pitchford drop a USB for you to play 3? We make that joke like every night while we're playing. Oh, look, there's Randy Pitchford's USB. But yeah, anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope. So that's it. I dropped into the Division 2 and Avowed. I went back. I'm not done with Avowed, so I've really gone back and tried to push more through Avowed. It drives me nuts having games that are not done.
And that's a big game. I actually played 5 minutes of your, I went around and killed some mushrooms and stuff on your game when we had some downtime when you and my wife were chit-chatting. I'm like, I'm messing up your game. That's cool.
He's like, what are these buttons on the back?
I loaded up Avowed the other day. I've been kind of like dinking around with games and stuff. And I picked up Red Dead Redemption 1 on PC and I start playing it and the 60 frames is nice. Then for a minute, you're like, it looks like just like I remember because it looks fantastic on Xbox, just except it's 30. So I don't know how much I'm going to play that, but we're in a little shift void of what's going to come out. I'll read a couple supers and we'll get into the big topics. There's some cool stuff, and holy crap, Xbox is just killing it right now. FarQ, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Said, what happened to Mag? He looks funny. Oh, hi, Holly. We hung out with FarQ on the chat. What were we playing? I think we were just hanging out in the chat. You guys were playing. We were
playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, no, we were just all hanging out talking. My good friend Red Wolf Renegade. I've got a box over here ready to slap a label on to send to you, my bro Red Wolf. I will do that tomorrow when I cut my hair. You guys better buckle up. Red Wolf Renegade, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I'll send that box, I promise. He says, Oblivion Remaster is going to change Bethesda, hopefully in a good way. People love their games so much, and the time between releases is tangible. Hopefully this becomes more big normal big win for BGS fans. Let's dive into the first topic. Thanks, Alla. Thanks to Red Wolf. Oblivion. I've never played it. Holly, what happened today?
So to the absolute surprise of 0 people anywhere on the planet, Bethesda finally announced that they're going to have a showcase tomorrow or chat about the Oblivion Remaster make.
What?
The repurposing of Oblivion that's coming tomorrow morning at noon, actually, Eastern.
Okay.
So, and then every account on Twitter just reposted it for like 2 hours, and that's all that was on my feed. So
there was like the "see, I told you," and then there was
it was.
Well, I mean, it didn't get shadow dropped, so the leakers are wrong. Mm-hmm. I mean, I got called a liar. I got called a clickbaiter and stuff, and I'm like, and I knew that it was the 21st to the 22nd not because I'm an insider, just because I talked to the guy who talked to Nate the Hate, and he told me everything Nate was saying, and then I didn't even bother looking up all of Nate's posts, but Nate's like feeling like, hey, it's going to get announced on the 21st or the week, like right at the end of this Bethesda event, which is tomorrow. Let's talk about what it could be. I told people in videos, I'm like, I hope it looks better because it's Unreal Engine 5. I'll start off this discussion by saying that the Turk, one of the tech people in the gaming community on YouTube, said that what they do is they take Unreal Engine 5 and they wrap the bones of a game like Oblivion. They wrap it with higher quality assets and 3D models and make the game look better, but you still get the core jank or the core game that was 19 years old. But when I saw the screenshots, I was like, that actually looks really good. Like it looks like kind of a desaturated Avowed. So what are your expectations?
I mean, it's hard. So I did stream the original Oblivion on Wednesday. It took me 35 minutes of tech support on stream with DeMarco to try to get this thing running properly
on
because
console?
It's old. No, I was streaming it. So I was here on PC. Yes. And I was playing it through PC Game Pass, and Microsoft, for the love of all that's holy, can we please get controller support built in like Steam does, among many other things? This is one of the things. So it took me 40 minutes to get this thing to finally like boot up correctly, good to go. No controller support. And I am like a 3-month-old baby trying to walk when it comes to figuring out how to use a mouse and keyboard. Oh my gosh.
So
I'm like, walk, turn, walk, turn, walk. It's so like, bad. It's so like, bad. And
press L to melee and you're like,
yep. and there's no blocking. I'm lucky. It's like, I spent like 2 hours. Well, no, there's blocking. There's no me blocking, but there's definitely blocking. I actually really enjoyed it. The character creator is like the best thing that I've ever done. I was like almost crying. I was laughing so hard, and I made an absolutely beautiful character. Her name is Sherbert, and you will never meet a prettier lady than that. So you should go check it out. And I played that for like 2 hours, and I was like, okay, that's it. That's literally all I can do without a controller. From here on, it's just not going to go well for me. But I wanted to load it up and see what it looked like versus what we're going to see, whatever that is, right? If the screenshots are accurate or if they're not. I'm assuming they're probably accurate. I'm assuming that the controls haven't really been messed with too much. Depends on the master make, right?
Yeah.
I gotta say though, even with as bad as I am with mouse and key, the controls weren't that bad. So I'm thinking it's probably okay enough. It has to be better than the Dead Rising Remastered that came out last fall, which I know the controls were just they were still too rough.
It was $50 I'll never get back.
I know.
We were both
I
so
would love
excited, and then I was like, I don't like
so excited.
this. 4's better.
Yeah.
Somebody's like,
4
what?
is the best one. 4 is the best one, and I will hear nothing
We're like, you and I are like,
otherwise.
4's the best, Dead Rising. They're like, what? 4's
Well,
better.
I I'm also of the camp that Fallout 4 is the best one too, so, you know. I like Fallout 4 a lot. But anyway,
I put New Vegas and then 4 and then 3, which we'll talk about Fallout later, but yeah, I love 4. I love 4. Red Wolf and I kind of collaborated on a mod video. He helped me a ton. Ah, it's so great. Anyway, yeah. I don't even know what we were talking about.
I think
Oblivion.
Oblivion. Yeah. Yeah. So I played a little bit of it so I could do like a comparison, you know. I'm going to try to do a comparison of the two, right, for the first half hour or whatever. I hope they keep the character creator. I think it's going to be huge because this should have happened a while ago. Everybody's been asking for it. And actually, you know, I think this is by far the most beloved of the Elder Scrolls series, even over Skyrim for the majority, which is saying something, right? Because Skyrim community is still really big.
Let's talk about the marketing or lack of marketing for Oblivion Remake, because a lot of people are making comments like, if this was some sort of orchestrated shadow drop leaked unveiling in some sort of marketing strategy, that it is absolutely genius. I talked to someone today that said Starfield was hot and super popular when it launched, and it's a brand new IP. People were waiting 8+ years for it, and it topped out at over 300,000 concurrent users on just Steam alone. Remember that Starfield launched on Steam. It launched on Game Pass. If you were unsure, you could basically get it for free. And it was across the Xbox consoles. So to see 300,000 people plus, I think the number's higher than that, that were concurrent on Starfield on just Steam, my friend said that they wouldn't be surprised if Oblivion also reaches a big number, like 200, 300, maybe even 400,000 people. They're thinking that Oblivion is going to be super popular, and everyone is going to come back and say, I got to see how this feels, and that a shadow drop won't really hurt the effect on sales. How are you feeling about the lack of marketing and this possible like shadow drop? Like, one last thing I'll say is it'll either shadow drop tomorrow or they'll show everything and say it comes out this Thursday at midnight. That's my prediction anyway. So how are you feeling about the marketing and how they did this?
I feel like Oblivion sort of sells itself just from the community, because I've never played it either. You said you've never played it, but we all know of the all hallowed Oblivion, right? So if there's a remake coming, I feel like most of us who never touched it are probably at least going to give it a go, especially because it's, again, the Game Pass thing, right? Even on PC. If this was one of those like evil genius marketing leaks and then just kind of move the dates around to just keep it going, genius. I don't know that I have that much faith that it was that it was done like that. But it would have, and you can't do that all the time, right? But this is one of those rare games that I think that all you have to do is whisper, we've got a remake. And that's it. Like, it's spread like wildfire, right? It only comes once a generation that something like that could really, take off like that, in my opinion.
How many people knew about Oblivion before? Like, in your opinion, just looking on the outside, what percentage of people are going to be like, yeah, we knew this was coming? Because we always think of the microcosm of Twitter or whatever, Reddit. What's your personal take on that? How many people already knew about it?
Well, I mean, let's face it. Twitter gaming is probably 5% of the gaming population, something like that.
And 4% of them hate me.
Now, 70% of those people are the ones that only play Fortnite or turn on their console like twice a year or only play Call of Duty, right?
Yep.
So I think for the rest of the world, it's gonna be a big surprise, right?
Okay. All right.
But there's also like us who go out and say, "Have you heard about this game?" It's kind of like Jehovah's Witnesses knocking on the doors. Your gamer friends, have you heard about?
Have you
this
played
game
Oblivion today?
Yes. You
You like Hot Fudge Sundays?
But I think that the date though is the real when it actually releases is the real question among a lot of what I've seen. So you think it's going to release this week?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Nate the Hate was stood pretty firm on the shadow drop thing, but why not show everything tomorrow? And you can certainly release it on a Tuesday and say, and it's out right now, and risk it for the biscuit. I'll read this one out of turns as it lands right in here. Thank you, Risk It, for dropping in the super. Thank you for the $3 Australian super. He says, I have a bad feeling it won't be in Game Pass. I kind of feel that too. I don't remember, Risk It, if Quake 1 and 2 remasters dropped into Game Pass day and date. I know that. Do you remember, Holly, if the Skyrim remaster, it didn't. I don't think it did drop in Game Pass. I think it was just, I think Xbox kind of doesn't have that rule anymore. What do you think? What on Risk It's question? Do you think that this game Oblivion Remaster will be in Game Pass, or you just have to buy it?
I mean, I feel like if they put Call of Duty, the biggest Call of Duty in how many years in Game Pass, that they would put Oblivion in Game Pass to me.
Yeah.
I feel like Call of Duty draws more people. I don't necessarily see why. To me, a lot of the PC players who are really excited about this, which is probably the bigger population out of PC versus console, right, that are excited about Oblivion, I think, that they're just going to buy it on Steam either way, right? I don't know that. I only know of a couple people who've said, "Oh, I'll just play it in Game Pass."
Is this a $40 US dollar purchase, you think? I haven't given that thought, but
Well, it depends, because the other argument going around is it the complete edition or is it the base and a deluxe edition?
the non-horse armor edition.
I think it's just going to be everything, don't you? Like, you would just do the complete edition, I would think.
I've certainly
Freaking that
said
old.
that many times to people. I've made a couple of different videos. I made a short, and I've just said that it's probably going to come with all the DLC. That was new to me when I rattled it off, because, like you, I haven't played the game. I've actually only played the opening segment when you get out of the sewers on Xbox like 4 or 5 months ago. And I was like, whew, this is rough. But
Yeah.
I plan to sit down and really like shut everything off and just play it one full day, because I wasn't interested in Skyrim when it came out, and my buddy gave me the copy, and I sat down one evening and just played, and I got all the way through the first thing, and I'm like, I walked out in the meadow and I'm like, this is what I'm doing this fall. So I'm playing. I'm now excited. I don't know. I'm looking at this artwork, like the screenshots. One of the Oblivion covers is dark gray with gold writing. Oblivion Remastered has a character on a horse. It doesn't say anything about deluxe or complete edition, obviously, or else we'd know. I don't know.
Thinking 50. I'm thinking 50
bucks. Oh yeah, probably.
I feel like that's a fair price. I would feel a little bit kind of about 70.
Yeah.
But it could pull 70 probably. I feel like 50 is a little more fair.
One thing I want to talk
Dead
about.
Rising was 50, right?
Yeah, it was. I think it was. Yeah, 55 with tax.
Although
I remember putting it on my
Resident
taxes.
Evil 4 was 70. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a full remake. That's what I want to talk about next. Before I do, I got a couple of member chats. Steven 4XP, thank you for chatting in. Says it's great to see you, Cole. Also, hi, Holy. It's me, the Cat Man. And Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat, thank you for chatting in. Says I have so many games to choose from. I'm more of a AA gamer than AAA. Currently playing Chains of Freedom. There's so much to play right now. Sith Lord. I was driving home today, and there was a red truck with a Darth Vader sticker, and the license plate said Sith Lord. And I thought, oh, that'd be hilarious if Sith Lord found me here, and he's like, I'm gonna find out where he lives, and I'm gonna hang out because I didn't get to see him when I was in Chicago. He says, I see you found a better replacement for Mag. Thank you for this chat, Sith. Oh. Hit the like button if you're enjoying having Holly here today as a stand-in co-host. That's a lot of responsibility to be a co-host, right? Nikki Z, thank you so much.
Definitely...
What?
No, I'm not as witty as Mag, but I do give Risket enough is equal amount of crap as Mag does. So I guess there's the trade-off.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, be nice to Risket, please. No, you can be mean. Risket's good for it. He could take anything. Nikki Z, thank you for the $10 super chat. Says, waking up early to hear God Howard speak tomorrow. I doubt he will mention Starfield, but if he says, as for Starfield, we'll see you in June, there'll definitely be a tingle in my pants. I don't know what. I guess there is the Starborn DLC that's probably coming at the end of the year. I think the big announcement for Starfield will be its port to PlayStation. We'll talk about some big games that Phil's talking about too. Goodrich Games, thank you for the 2. Ooh. I see Holly's been promoted. 7 thumbs up and counting. Yeah. What's that? You said wait.
Who was the one with the super chat about getting up to watch God Howard?
Nikki Z.
Nikki Z. I think there's a cream for that. Said that there's a tingling in his pants. I think.
Oh my gosh. My moderator said I look really orange. I do. I don't know why. But I've been getting a lot of sun, and I'm using bronzer. I can't fix it. It's great. It's probably everyone's fault but mine. How about that? Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat, thank you for the Australian 5, says, Mag, have you started using Colt's metrosexual skincare? Your face looks so smooth. This is what you have to put up with.
Really hitting the zingers today, huh?
Mm-hmm. Andy Ackerman with the 5. Thank you so much. Says, team, that blue number today. Colt probably had Mag committed to make this happen. Yeah. Yeah. You don't even have to say anything. I just show some clips of Mag on his channel, and they just go take him away. But we're glad to have you here, Holly. It's fun. Speaking of Risket for the Biscuit, he says, did Holly play Oblivion on the traitorous PC, or did she play it on the virtuous Xbox? Also, congrats on finally getting rid of Mag, gone and forgotten, and then he's got a little gravestone.
I'll tell Mag.
Speaking of Mag super chats in from writing the Hallowed Moose. Thank you for the super chat. Mag, what? I got to give this back to him. He says, where is Mag? Have a great show. Love you both. Bro, I miss you.
Aww.
Hope you're having a good time. Appreciate you. Let's talk about this Remastered is what it's called. Do you think we're going to feel like this is a little bit of a remake? I kind of feel like we're in the middle. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think it's somewhere in the middle. I don't think they did all of the mechanics. I don't know that they redid like skill trees, all of the in-game content stuff. But I do think that they probably did update some things to make them infinitely easier for controllers and, modern day audiences. But they probably didn't do a lot, is what I'm thinking. But yeah. I think the graphics are going to be fantastic.
Yeah, they do look nice. But I don't really remember. I didn't do like about a few minutes of combat. Like you were talking about that earlier. It feels like a 19-year-old game?
No, it felt better than I thought it would. Again, I was playing on mouse and keyboard, so take what you will from that. But I was shooting arrows with the mouse, and it was going pretty well. It's really, again, the camera work that's where you really get stuck as a controller player, right? Trying to work on mouse. But the movement was pretty good. The combat that I did get into was good. Looting was fine. The other thing that they didn't really have was the map was very, very poor. So I don't know if they'll redo the inventory/map system to make that more modern, more convenient. That would be interesting. I hope they do.
I don't remember
Inventory
the
wasn't
map.
bad. But
Was the map like supposed to look hand-drawn when you open it up?
yeah, and it was like tucked in the inventory in a kind of an odd place. I was like, "Where's the map?" Until finally DeMarco told me through chat where the map was. But that would be a nice upgrade. Quality of life stuff, right?
Yeah. I've played modern the fantasy RPGs can be really iffy when it comes to accessing the inventory and the map system and just navigating those. I hate this. One of the reasons why I kind of stayed away from fantasy RPGs for a while, and it took like Skyrim to win me over, was I don't like the aesthetic, like in Baldur's Gate and Diablo, Path of Exiles, all those games like that rustic, old. I don't know. I don't like it. Like the wooden boxes or the copper boxes and the scribbly font. I just think it just looks nasty.
I think we're both Fallout people, right? More than Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say something about Avowed's UI. It was a little bit better in the inventory system. I forgot to mention this, and it's unfortunate that it's taken so long, but to get something this amazing and to get it right is what Ben from Xbox Fan Art is all about, and he masterfully crafted the Avowed coins you're seeing up here. Hold on, I was up there they are. Yes, these coins up here from Ben are amazing, and I am going to be giving away 3 coins tonight to channel members or new joining channel members, and I will try to contact you via the comment section at the end of the video once it's posted live for the winners selected there. But I cannot wait to get one of these coins. I've got, 15 of them across my desk that you can't see right now. Trust me, they're there. I'm excited about this, and you have a little bit of a hand in helping these facilitate the coins. It's a lot of work, but there's more coming. So anyway,
it is a lot of work.
It is. We talked about it, and I've talked to Ben, and Ben is like, he's taking a hammer and a chisel and making them and hand painting them with a toothbrush or the paintbrush in his mouth. They're amazing. And if you want to get one, just be a channel member and you'll be eligible, and they're awesome. Let me go on to, I don't know what else to say about Oblivion other than tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific. And you said noon. No. Yeah.
It's 11. I was wrong. 11 Eastern.
Yeah, 11 Eastern. Yeah. So it'd be 10 o'clock for you in Central Time. They're going to, what did they say? You're going to say they're only tomorrow. Yeah. No. On Twitch and YouTube. That's it. That's all. They don't say how long.
Well,
yes,
it takes as long as it takes. The only thing I've seen a lot of discourse around, and I do kind of agree. I'm really curious, and maybe you have a better perspective about why now, because the spring is so packed with Xbox games, right? And not just Xbox, but third party as well. And I can't even. I bought Shadows. I haven't been able to even load it yet. Like, I'm still finishing Avowed. I'm still, you know what I mean? Like,
so the
list is endless. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to, I still need to finish Avowed. I still need to do this. I haven't played South of Midnight yet. Like, there's all of these games coming out, and Claire Expedition 33 is coming this week, which I'm very excited for. And so I'm just like, but why now? Like, all we know for sure from Xbox is what up through Doom, basically, right? We know that there's other stuff coming this year, but we don't know dates. But we don't know as much of what's coming this year.
Worst best year ever.
And yes. But I'm like, so why now? Why didn't they? In my mind, they would have dropped it around June 1st. Because that's 2 weeks after Doom. like a week before the showcase, right? They're not going to release anything major in that time. Drop Oblivion, let people get excited. It buys you a little more time into July or August, right? For whatever the next thing is. So, and then I've seen some people online talking about if this is going to affect Claire Expedition 33.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it has a chance to, but I don't know that it's quite the same audience. And then I'm thinking, well, if I was Claire Expedition 33, would I be like kind of disappointed that you're doing this right around the same time as the game? But I don't know. I guess that's just it just makes me think, well, then, holy crap, what's the rest of the year going to be like? If they couldn't fit it anywhere else in the rest of the year, and this is it, then what are we in for? I don't know.
You make a good point, because I'm going to use your other point against you and for you at the same time. You said that Twitter makes up 5% of the gaming community across the world. The people that are going to play Claire Expedition 33, or the people that might be interested in it, what percentage do they make of that would say, oh, crud, I was going to play that, now Oblivion's out? Like, if we were able to zoom back and really look at everything like a bunch of running ants on the ground, maybe Claire doesn't have a prop. Maybe it's not a problem. Maybe there are people like, oh, I already played Oblivion. Oh, that looks really nice. I'm cool. I want to play something new. And there are people like that.
Yeah.
Maybe there is plenty of room. And I'll always tell you that people are like, Xbox needs to space their games apart. And my opinion is, no, they owe us for 10 years. Their studios shouldn't have to wait. And I think there's plenty to go around, and people can buy this game and play it whenever they want. They don't need to play Oblivion day one. It's going to be a remaster of a 19-year-old game. Also, Xbox has, what did they put? They have 4 releases from first party in April alone for the year 2025. They have 4 releases. They have South of Midnight. Pretty sure that was April. Boy, time flies when you're old.
Yeah, it was.
They have
April.
South of Midnight. They have the Oblivion Remaster. They have Indiana Jones on PS5. That's a big release. And Forza Horizon 5 on PS5, which is another big first-party release. And those are big releases, those 2 games. That's not small to put those on a PlayStation. That's a big deal and a big jump in revenue and players and all of that stuff. And so they're going to have 4 games out this year. And Holly makes such a great point. Why not just put Oblivion in June? But maybe there's room for everybody to play games, I guess.
I feel like Oblivion's one of those evergreen games. Like, even if you're dropping it now, it's always going to be there. It's always going to be loved, et cetera, et cetera. And it's always going to be an audience for it, right? I feel like new games, right, like Expedition 33, right? They sort of have a shorter lifespan to engage new audience, right?
2 or 3 weeks.
So maybe that is, So maybe that is the trade-off here, is that I did see a couple people in the chat say, well, I guess I'll hold off playing Expedition 33 for a while. And I was like, oh, okay. But I don't know. It's a tough one, right?
It is a tough one. I feel like everybody who's watching, thank you so much for being here. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. We appreciate your support. I feel like everyone's here probably knows personally, what do I want to play? Like, we talked last week about Marathon and Borderlands 4. I want to talk about that in a moment too. I think you guys know, right? You know within yourself, like, if you have the choice of Oblivion and Claire Expedition launch on the same evening, you know which one you're going to choose. And maybe if you were really torn, I'll just play Oblivion later because Claire's brand new. And everyone could talk about Oblivion whenever. Right now, Oblivion had a total of 2,200 people playing concurrently on Steam. Their all-time peak was only 3,200. And my friend was saying I could see the Oblivion Remaster being somewhere like 300,000 people. It will be interesting to see how popular that does. But you're right, it is a big deal. I think I asked Bag last week. We'll just take a moment. You have a choice on September 23rd. What are you playing that night? Are you going to try and see what the magic is of Marathon? Or are you going to load up Borderlands 4 and say, let's see what these new characters and this new version of Borderlands feels like?
It depends on if Marathon is 3 or not. It's not free, so that's the problem. Like, to be fair, the Borderlands 4 trailers, I have not felt any excitement about them. There's been nothing about them that have like caught my eye besides the fact that, oh, it's another Borderlands game, right? There's been nothing unique about it. Not like when Doom announced. I keep using Doom because I'm obsessed with Doom. But like when Doom announced, right? Completely different aesthetic. Oh yeah, I got the new Doom the Dark Ages sweatshirt because I'm a shill. It's got Doom guy on the back with the freaking fur cape, which is the best aesthetic that ever walked a character ever.
You know what you need to do?
What?
You need to go down to the fabric store and buy some fur and sew it in the inside of your hoodie on the hood.
Such a good idea. I want a fur cape. I need to find a fur cape.
Just line the inside of the hoodie hood with the fur and
then just have like a fur, like, yes, that would be amazing. I will do that.
Yes.
Or what if I get a fur piece that hangs off the back of my helmet? Like a mullet piece.
Oh my gosh. And then your dogs will attack you. What is that? What is that?
Yeah, they don't. It's like, do you have bacon in your pocket?
I learned that my dog absolutely hates the show Severance. My wife and I are watching it, and he goes ballistic. We can't watch the show. He starts running around and barking, and he starts acting out like he's been severed. Really? It's horrible. Yeah, he's ridiculous.
I had a dog that did that to Usher. Anytime there was an Usher song on, he would like howl to the moon. I kid you not. And I never heard this dog howl ever in his life, but a Usher song came on and he would throw his head back and just start howling. Yep.
Yeah.
Something
I'm the
in
same
the soundtrack.
way as Celine Dion music.
Yeah. That's fair. That's your other favorite Canadian, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Is there a music artist that you just can't stand that you want to like expose your utter weakness and tell everyone that they probably love this artist, but you can't stand them? Do tell the public.
Well, Katy Perry kind of tops the list this week.
What'd she do wrong? Wait, whoa. You mean her going into space like ruined it for you?
No, Kissing the Ground. I just thought it was so silly. Like, no. No. Well, I mean, there's probably a few, but I don't want to get boycotted off your
James
show.
Thomas says Beyonce. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I agree with that. I don't like Beyonce.
Yeah.
I'm with you, James Thomas. Top of the list. There you go.
Yep. Yeah. I'll keep an eye out for people being super music haters in the chat, because then we can bond and be best friends. Katy Perry's cringe. All right.
It was a little silly. I feel so much love. Love. Going into space for 3 minutes made me feel love. I feel like you could do that here with Orlando Bloom.
Well, yeah, she's married to Legolas. Wish I was married to Legolas. It's not fair.
Yeah. You're not the only one, Colt.
Well, I mean, I am gay.
You know.
It's great. Nikki Z, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says, I hope the remaster has a parry system at least. It just has a blocking system, Oblivion? I mean, I don't know if they'll add something like that.
Yeah, that feels pretty modern.
Yeah, I mean, even Skyrim just lets you block. Red Wolf Renegade, thank you for the $5 super. Hey, Red Wolf, I've got a package over here I'm going to send you. I'm just going to keep saying that until I force myself to run that errand tomorrow. You guys have any packaging tape? Red Wolf says they've completely redesigned NPCs. I watched his video this morning. He did one of those, oh my gosh, the news broke, I'm going to make a video as fast as lightning. And he said they've completely redesigned the NPCs. They will definitely take much more creative liberties and quality of life additions like the map, etc. Hopefully, for good luck, he says. But he's saying they redesigned the NPCs. I don't know where he's heard that, but I guess we're going to find out tomorrow. Game Seeker, my good friend, thank you so much for the 20 bomb super chat. He says, At VaultBoy76. At Vault Boy. Who was that? At Vault Boy. Was that somebody in the chat?
I don't know. I mean, but I do have my little.
We played 76 with Seeker, and he was like, Cole, you got to play with me. And like, I'd gone to that like 300 hour, 400 hour mark with you and Dante and with Red Wolf and Solo. And like, by then I'm like, I don't know if I can do it anymore. And I love that game. I love it.
I want to do the raid so badly.
The raid?
They have a raid. Yeah, I want to do that. Fallout 76 has raids now, people.
Okay.
Cool.
I mean, I've still got it installed. The night when we played with Phil and Dante was like hilarious. That was great.
Yes.
Yes. Little piece
Phil,
of news.
you're welcome. You can have fusion cores whenever you need them. I will be your backup fusion core carrier. It's fine.
Come on, Phil. There's some more ammo. Here's some stim packs. Dropping little paper bags. It's like little poop bombs. Here you go, Phil.
Yep.
Hargy in the chat. I meant to get this earlier. Hargy goes, does Towerborn count? It's coming in April. Absolutely. Thank you, Hargy. I forgot. I've been playing a bunch of different stuff. Yeah, Towerborn's coming out at the end of the month. It's in early access. Like, I guess this would be my review copy. So yeah, it's another one. So it's 5 games, 5 first-party games, and that's made by Xbox Global Publishing. So I think Towerborn counts as a first-party game. 5 in April. It's absolutely nuts. And I will say right here publicly that Xbox has the games. They are providing the games this year more than any other publisher. They are the ones making the games. More new IPs. It is so incredible to see. And one of my buddies on Twitter was like, man, if they were still exclusive, we'd have all these bragging rights. I'm like, bragging rights? I mean, I just need the games to be good and fun. And so far, I'm pretty happy. Let's talk about...
it pushes the rest of the industry. It pushes the industry, though, to do better, too. Right? If Xbox is starting to knock out all these great games, then it pushes the Ubisofts and the Take-Twos and, all the Gearbox, all of the others to up their game.
Yeah. And I know there's those many arguments about exclusivity, but if Xbox is making them, they're making the majority of the money. And that money is hopefully going back into more games for us and Game Pass and all that stuff. I'm pretty happy. There's been a lot of weird changes, and we've talked about it on our podcast, you on Renegade and Infinite podcast, and on your streams talking about the changes that have gone on. But I just sit back sometimes and go, I just love all these games we're getting. It's so awesome. There's another game that is getting more content updates. And it's a game you and I've played together with Red Wolf and other friends, is The Division 2. What can you tell everybody about The Division 2's update? Should we care? Should we be excited?
Definitely care. The Division 2 is the best shooter on the market of first, third, doesn't matter. And I'm a Call of Duty shill. The Division is the best shooter. Period. Full stop. That game is 6 years old. You load that thing up. The graphics in it are phenomenal. The missions are so good. It is the best matchmaking system of any game that I've ever played. You just run up, you're running along and there's like a building where a mission starts and it's all part of the open world. You walk up and this like graphic shows up kind of in your space and it says, do you want to matchmake here? What level do you want to do it on, et cetera, et cetera. And you just do all of that standing in this living world and you go in and you start. It is the best. It is so good. It's a looter shooter. There's thousands of loot boxes and hundreds of different gear sets and all of the things. I've played the ever-loving snot out of that game.
I've got a pretty good chunk of time in it. Played a bunch of the DLC and all of the campaign and played a bunch with you and our friends. And it is definitely one of the greater looking games in a city that massive. And it's definitely the most tactical game you'll ever play. Like you feel,
and the weather dynamics in that game, the weather.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. And the guys running and shooting their gun sideways all the time and doing the hippity hoppity skippity do when they're like, woohoo. Yep. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So what's the DLC? Like, would anybody here care if that's not like a dyed-in-the-wool Division fan? Is there something to be excited about there? What is it about?
Well, if you haven't played the Division 2, it's got a common game loop, but one that's a little bit different, where you run all of the main missions, and you get to level 30. You have to get to level 30, right, to actually get into end game. And then when end game starts, something happens in the storyline and the map resets, and then you start actually, like, I call it actually playing the game. Getting to level 30 is kind of the tutorial, right? But then also they did an expansion called The Warlords of New York.
Yeah.
Where you go back to New York, because the first game is set in New York and the second one is set in Washington, D.C. So in the Warlords of New York, you go back, and then you know, there's stuff to do there. But this new DLC, which is coming out sometime this year, is supposed to come out this spring, but they delayed it a little bit. So they're doing the actual reveal of it on Tuesday, the 23rd, which is Wednesday.
I actually know my dates this week because there's a lot of important stuff.
Because of Oblivion. Oh yeah. Well, so we're gonna get Oblivion, then we're gonna get the Division. It's a freaking awesome game.
How about this?
They're gonna show.
They're gonna show.
Oh, sorry. They're gonna show the trailers and stuff. I'm just really excited about the Division getting more content. That's not just a season thing, because I stopped playing it because there's other games to play, and I don't want to do the repetitive cycle for too long.
Yeah, you can run out of new stuff to do. Yeah. Right. What do you think what do you think about Ubisoft saying we're going to make an Apex Legend Battle Royale?
Oh gosh.
I mean, I don't want you to be the the torch and pitchfork instead of the fork and knife salivating gamer, but
dude,
that's kind of
I hear I'm singing their praises because this game is so good. Like, when Ubisoft hits, they like slap you down and knock you out, right? They're good. But when they're bad, man, it's just such a bummer, because you're like, I know the potential that you have. I know the IP. I know that you have a lot of good people working on stuff, but who made the decision for another live service? How many live services have they canceled? They canceled 2 Division live service things that never came to fruition because it was just dog water. There was a mobile and there was a free to play.
You're a Call of Duty fangirl, are you not? Tell the court and the jury.
Yeah, I have like what
happened to
2,000 hours in Call of Duty.
Yeah. And what happened with xDefiant? Like, you know Call of Duty, and xDefiant wanted to kind of take a little bit of that feel and run with it from Ubisoft. And what happened with xDefiant in your short description?
Yeah, you know, people were really excited about it to begin with, and we're calling it the COD killer. It's definitely not the COD killer. The problem was they took the premise was fantastic, right? Taking all of these factions from different Ubisoft IPs and putting them into one game and allowing you to play as these characters, great idea. But the maps were rough. The TTK, the time to kill, was rough. The gameplay, like the gunplay, just wasn't quite right. The sightlines were rough. They even used map pieces from different games, right? Which is a great idea. It's a great idea. Except that I feel like those map pieces don't necessarily work for a 6v6 deathmatch style game, right? Or even a domination or whatever Call of Duty multiplayer game that you want to insert. It's just they had a lot of the right ideas. I just don't think they had a team that had worked on a game specifically like that knows the true needs for a map design. It's a shame. Plus, I mean, it's the same thing as when you're talking about Fortnite, when you're talking about Apex, when you're talking about Escape from Tarkov, when you're talking about all of these large ones, Valorant, right? Or Counter-Strike. These games are so big and they're such a juggernaut and they have so many players that trying to siphon off players to play the same kind of game in your new world, in your new ecosystem, it's just really hard to do. It's really, really hard to do.
I'd be hard pressed to spend time in a battle royale when I can play several matches of Fortnite with my kids and get like a complete experience. I don't know. Ubisoft, they're it's not like they're not trying. Like they're trying really hard.
They are trying.
They're trying really hard. And I
They
just
just need
uninstalled
something new
Shadows.
that's theirs.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like they can go back and make another Rayman game and they'd probably do really well, I would hope. But they're working on Splinter Cell and I don't know. It's been really tough for Ubisoft. I want better for them. I want them to have success. Yeah. We need that. Yeah. So we had some new surprise Doom content this week, and for those that have watched WWE, I don't know all this stuff, but they had integrated marketing for Doom and a brand new trailer, and this game comes out in like a month, less than a month, like 3 weeks.
It's like 23 days or 22 days.
I don't watch WWE, but do you know who the wrestler was that was like standing with the shield saw?
I have no idea.
I don't know. It was like
I have no idea.
Some guy with long hair and not a shirt. That's about how much I know about WWE. But people are loving this stuff, and like Paris and his friends went to Vegas to watch it live in person, and yeah, some marketing. Bethesda markets their stuff. Xbox could take notes, but we got to look at the new trailer, which kind of showed some of the same stuff. But were there any morsels you saw in this trailer that you're like, oh, I didn't see that before, or that? What are you thinking about the new trailer?
It's so good. It's just really, I don't know. Every time I see this, I think I just get like awestruck from the beginning, and then I'm just like yes, like especially when they're like parrying properly with the green parry system. And the thing that I watched a video this week that this guy did. It was really good, that had done like a rough breakdown of the Mick Gordon Doom thing that had happened after Doom Eternal or during Doom Eternal, and why Mick's not on this, right? And so but the thing that hit me with this trailer was the perfect timing of the music with the action that they were showing. Somebody took a lot of care to like cut the music in the trailer exactly well, and like really well put together. And then I've been watching a lot of, there's this guy named Andy Strider on YouTube, and he is, I think, Finishing Move is the company that's doing the music for Doom the Dark Ages.
Okay. And
it's only like 4 guys, and they're doing the music for Doom. They're doing the music for They're doing the music for like 4 or 5 really big games coming out, and at least 2 or 3 of them are with Bethesda. And all pretty soon. So this Andy Strider, I think he's one of the guys that is part of Finishing Move, I think. And so he's been making videos of him playing the guitar with the montages from Doom for the different songs that are on the soundtrack. Man, those are really cool. If you want a little extra Doom before Doom.
That's crazy. I knew that name.
Mm-hmm. Andy Strider?
No, Finishing Move.
Or Finishing Move.
They did the Grounded soundtrack, which is phenomenal. And I know people are like, Grounded. Like Grounded has like a Goonies / Stranger Things soundtrack that runs continuously as you play. That is just beautiful. They also did Callisto Protocol, Crackdown 3. They're doing Doom the Dark Ages. They've done Black Ops. I'm just like taking a quick scan. Awesome. Somebody asked me when I played the game in LA, they're like, what'd you think of the music? Was it okay without Mick Gordon? And I was like, it just sounded like Doom music. Like it was just cool. It was just really good. I'm excited.
Mick set the blueprint. You know, Mick's phenomenal at what he does, right? But it's nice to see that somebody else is come in or is able to come in, right, and still capture like the original intent, but then put their own twist on it and make it doomy.
So if you lean, if you lean, people can see the Doom wrap you have over your right shoulder.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. Do you have the
And
Doom controller upstairs, or is it in a different room?
no, it did not. So it was sold out when I was on the Microsoft Store. Apparently, I think I was just too early because the sold out button was there and then it popped back up. So I actually found this website. It's a Canadian website that was selling it. And it was actually, with the conversion rate, still get free shipping. I got it for $75 with tax all in, when it's $80 plus tax in the US.
Oh,
but I don't have it yet. But that's okay. I saved like $15 on it, and hopefully it's a real website and they didn't just, buy a yacht with my credit card.
Send you a green controller and it says Doom with an E on the end in marker.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't have it yet. But
it's funny, right before the show went live, we were talking and I heard and my shelf shifted and dropped all of my stuff onto the couch. And I'm like, I'm not going to put it back because if it falls during the show, I'm going to go like, oh my gosh, what was that? Whatever. Just another thing. Oh, let me add that to my list of things to do around this game room, but I'll get it figured out.
There's always things to do.
Yeah. At this point, I don't need to see any more Doom the Dark Ages. I'm ready to just play it. Glad they're doing the marketing stuff, but it's just going to be awesome. But I was surprised that IGN has a exclusive deal with Obsidian to show off Outer Worlds 2. And last week I wasn't happy with the showing. This week they just did some flyovers of the Unreal Engine 5, like a Golden Ridge desert location that looks absolutely awesome. Like it looks dry and barren, but it looks really, really nicely detailed, because Outer Worlds can be kind of a funky looking game. Like it sort of has that No Man's Sky thing where the colors are like not right. Everything like is bursting with the wrong type of colors that you'd see in a natural world. I always thought it kind of looked like somebody like flipped the film negative or something. And it looks cool, but this one, I'm really excited. They talked about more points of interest and you can see stuff on the horizon. It's more open, which I would assume is more like Avowed, which was open in all the right ways. So I'm kind of pulling a 180 here. I wasn't happy about the last showing, but this one I'm really excited. Did you play Outer Worlds 1, and how are you feeling about 2?
I played it like 3 times all the way through with the DLC. I love that game.
Yeah.
I love that game. It hit all the right notes for me. It was really funny. It was goofy. It had a good story. The missions were good. The fighting was, I loved it. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. And then I know like a couple people, I think like Red has said, I tried it and I couldn't get into it. So I put it down, and I was like, no, I really think you'd like it. You just need to go back and give it a chance. Like you really need to give it a chance. I just love that game. So I'm really excited about the second one. I agree with you on the initial showing, more so because I was like, why is this so slow? Like I feel like, why aren't you just showing somebody playing? Like just play, right? Like I don't need to see tutorials on how things are going to work, right? Because I'm not playing it. I'll play it when I play it, right? I'll learn then. But I just thought it was an odd game snippet choice to show for the first showing of it. Having said that, the game's freaking amazing. The first one is. So I have like zero worries about the second one, but that's because I know that I like the first one. I hope that they do some really cool montages for new players and other people, right, to get them more excited about it. Did you watch the new video that IGN dropped for the, what do they call it? The favor system?
I scrubbed through it. I didn't sit and listen to it. It talks about the perks and the character building thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I scrubbed through it looking for new footage when I was making my weekly news video, but is there anything to report on that? There's like 90 perks in the game. Did you
ever pick one of those consequences perks? I forgot what they're called.
Yeah. Risk it. It's getting delayed. I I didn't see any screen tearing in the second showing. I don't know. I just can't imagine that screen tearing is like, what happened? And they're like, whoops. That's not how the game's going to be. There's no way. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
It's coming this year. No, it's coming this year.
It wasn't 15. It was 60 FPS, risk it. But it was screen tearing really bad, which means that it could have been running 53 or 57 FPS. Like anything off of the 60 is going to cause screen tearing if they don't match up. The puzzling thing was how in the world it was capturing screen tearing. I don't know, but I think it was a fluke. Sorry. Go back to the perk and favor system. I don't remember what you were saying.
Anything you can do to push back on risk it, it's always a win for me.
I mean, in this day and age, yeah, to say delay, it's going to get delayed. Like you're not wrong. Like it happens so often, but I've heard so much of the opposite over the past several months. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty confident if they're doing a direct after the showcase on this game that it's coming this year. They wouldn't do a direct for anything that was questionable.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But no, the trade-off flaw system, whatever they call it, it's one of those. I never did it in the first game, or if I did it, I like took just a little bit because it's one of those, hey, do you want to play this way? We can give you this advantage, but we're going to give you these 3 other disadvantages and you can't get rid of them. They're like with you the entire game.
Your gun damage is 20% higher, but you take 20% more damage, which is something that Obsidian did in the original, I think in the early Fallout games, but they brought it back for New Vegas. And they didn't call them flaws, but I can't remember what they called them in New Vegas, even though I played it 9 times. But yeah, now I remember what you're talking about with flaws. So was there anything that was memorable to you that you could tell me about, since I didn't watch the video, and for the other people who didn't watch that 15-minute video?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is there's going to be tons of them this time as well. They said that they're actively finding a way to present it as a bigger option to entice people to want to do it more. But this also is intuitive. So it's going to learn how you like to play, and then it's going to present you with very particular flaw systems or favor systems, whatever it's called, that is to your game style or to the way you like to play. Like if you are somebody who likes to punch through the menus because you just want to go shoot something, right? Instead of the dialogue back and forth, it'll be like, they said they called it like foot to mouth or something like that.
It actually tracks if you're skipping dialogue.
So if you want to play like that, well, we could give you this option that will let you push through the dialogue faster. Just
That's
know
like a
that
nightmare for Special
in order
Nick.
to do that. Yeah. So I thought that was cool. They had something like gives you things based on the way you like to play. But
okay.
I should play that again. I should play the Outer Worlds again really just like take on all of those goofy flaw things, right? And just make your play miserable. But once you take it, that's it. You're stuck with it. So I don't know. I think it's cool. It's a little
I really like Outer Worlds, but it can feel a little bit limited when you're used to other RPGs, like a Fallout 3 or 4, and then you play Outer Worlds, like, oh, it doesn't do a lot of the stuff that those games do, and maybe it's because I probably played that game far too safe, you know. I leveled up my health and my damage, and I didn't really do anything really crazy. But that's probably good advice: is to play that game the way it's meant to be played. Play it funky, like if you play Fallout New Vegas and you choose Wild Wasteland, like you come upon weird stuff that most people won't see in the game. It's cool stuff. Yeah,
I love Obsidian, and their games are actually like their difficulty is a little bit lower. So I always play their games at least on hard because I feel like that's a little bit more like normal.
Yeah.
On everybody else's. Or maybe you dial it down and add all that crazy stuff on and then like wind up walking around with tape on your mouth the whole time or something like that.
Do you think they'll have a third person mode in Outer Worlds 2?
I don't think so.
I don't think they will either, but they added it into Avowed and called it an accessibility feature. It was in the accessibility options, and they said it was for accessibility for people who can't play games in first. And Avowed's amazing in first person. So I would love them to offer a third person mode. The only time you get to see your character is if you leave the controller idle and it orbits your character in the like Fallout does. And I'm like, but you don't ever get to see all this cool gear you wear in the first Outer Worlds game. So I don't know. I'm excited. I hope their next showing, which maybe is next week from IGN, is really, really cool. This brings us to the next one. I reported on this in a video last week and my weekly news video that Nate the Hate says that the Fallout 3 remaster is still on the menu. And it was leaked in 2023 in September, right after Starfield launched. This like big leak from 2022 dropped in September of 2023. And one of the things on the docket was an Oblivion remaster and then a Fallout 3 remaster. But Nate the Hate says this game is years away. So maybe they haven't even started it yet, but they would have another studio work on it. How long does it take to do an Unreal Engine 5 build of Oblivion or Fallout 3? Holly, when will we see Fallout 3 remastered? What's your best guess? And then put it on a board, and then we'll hold you to it one day.
Good. I'm looking forward to that. No, I was thinking about it. Wouldn't it make sense if this was being worked on? Do you think that they're busting their butt to make sure that it's timed with the TV show?
Yes.
And the new season of the new season of Fallout is in 2026, right? I know they've filmed, but it takes forever after you film to do all the other stuff.
All the post-production. When are we supposed to get the second season of Fallout TV
That's
show?
what I was saying. I think it's 2026. Does anybody know?
I think it is too, but I mean, I don't even remember what time of year those things come out. Like, I have no idea.
Well,
tell us in the chat. But I know that Xbox wants to capitalize on the success of the TV show with content, and Fallout 76 content's not going to fit the bill or foot the bill.
It was enough for the first season just to sort of say, well, we've got something, although
and the Fallout 4 next gen patch was absolutely huge. Red Wolf and I played probably 100 hours of Fallout 4 after that show wrapped, after the end of watching that whole season. And that held them over. But Xbox and Bethesda cannot sit idly by and let Fallout just become hey, we'll see you in 2035.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It says April or May 2026, it looks like, is the potential. Sounds about right.
I'm not a calendar, but that seems like a year from now. I don't know.
That's how
they
that
need
works,
to do
right?
something. Does anyone know in the chat? I never thought about this. Does anyone know how long Virtual Studio worked on this Oblivion thing? Will we hear that tomorrow in the announcement? Virtual Studio worked on this Oblivion remaster since 2021 or something. Then we could have an idea. But people don't like me saying this, but I think it's very possible that Xbox is pushing the idea that Obsidian or another studio make a Fallout spin-off right now. And if Obsidian launches Outer Worlds in like August or September, I would think Outer Worlds going to be early-ish in the year. I would just guess that they're just assuming you get in by September, then you miss Grand Theft Auto 6's window. Then Obsidian can get part of their team working on a Fallout spinoff. And I talked about in my video that it would be really great. People hate this. That it would be really great that if Fallout spinoff was built off of the Unreal or the Creation Engine 2.0 Starfield engine. If you've played Starfield, you know how beautiful that game can look. Just use that structure, which is built off of Fallout 4, and just start building an absolutely modern, fantastic looking Fallout game. There's people that don't want Obsidian to do it because they don't like Obsidian. They don't think Outer Worlds is a good game, even though it was nominated for Game of the Year. They don't think that Avowed is a good game, even though it's like an 8 out of 10. They don't think that Grounded is cool, even though I think it's one of the best games of the generation. Maybe they aren't the right fit, but I think if they had the Fallout IP, that they could run with it and do some really cool things. I don't know. Lots changed. What's your take on that? There's not a lot of people that created this one over there at Obsidian anymore.
I've been saying for like 2-3 years now, I want Microsoft to get Bethesda to give up a small little group of employees, and Obsidian to take a small little group of employees, and In Exile to make a small group of employees and make a little, to make a little Fallout baby of their own. Because they've all worked on Fallout, not necessarily the people that work there now, right? But like all these studios have some Fallout in them, and they all have the right sense of humor.
We all have some Fallout in us.
That's right. Po Buddy's nerfect, right? So I think that they're like all of those have the right dynamic to come together and make a really cool, really unique Fallout. Whether it's a spin-off, it would probably be a spin-off, not like official Fallout 5. I don't think that Bethesda would be too happy about trying to ask for the next edition, right? But a Fallout Miami or a Fallout Paris or something like that, right? Like that would be
Fallout Delaware.
That would be really cool. Yeah, Fallout Farmfield. Just put it in the middle of Nebraska. Like,
yep.
But here's my question for you, because I don't know the tech stuff as well. Starfield, yes, beautiful. But my problem with Starfield visually comes with the character models. They're the same type of character models that are kind of in every Bethesda game, and they look a little plasticine.
Yeah.
They're just a little, they're not animated enough, like the facial models and things like that.
They're 10 times better than the facial models and animations of Fallout 4. But, 8 years apart. But I think they're 10 times better.
But a ghoul's face looks a little different, right, than just like Sarah's face, right? But is that a
ghoul, Sarah,
is that a creation? But she's such a jerk all the time. Like, maybe that's why I think she's not attractive. She's not attractive on the inside because she's not attractive on the inside.
Yeah.
Yes. Stop.
And
chill out, lady.
And then Adrasia is just cranky all the time. She's not.
It's like,
yeah.
What do
you got to do like my buddy and just romance Sam Cole. That's the only way to do it. Elias.
That's what I did.
Yeah. I'm sure Red Wolf wanted to. Well, Red Wolf would love to romance Elias, but yeah. Red Wolf, who did you? He probably didn't romance. He's like, I never romanced anybody on my first playthrough. He didn't use Starborn powers.
He didn't even finish his first playthrough.
Yep.
He didn't go through the thing, which I haven't either.
Red says, everyone complained about loading screens in Starfield, but never complained about them in Skyrim or any other game by them. Well, that's because Skyrim is as old as all of my kids.
Yeah.
But the difference is that I don't worry about the I don't worry about the loading screens because I walk up to my ship, this gigantic ship. I walk up to it every time. I slow walk. Like I'm so terrible. I'm like Red. We just slow walk up to our ship. We walk around to the back. We walk in the back. We open the door. I slow walk down and it's like, hey everybody.
And I'm just like, where the heck is the fast travel? I need to get out of here. Oh, that's right. My pockets are full.
Yep. No, I'm ridiculous. I'll just stroll through and go, Andrasia, how are you? Heller? What's his name? What's his name? Heller? The guy? I don't like him. Yeah, anyway.
Oh, yeah, he was boring. He said Andrasia.
That's how you say it. Oh, that's who he
that's who he romanced.
Yeah. I saw Red Wolf used he romanced Andrasia, but he used a mod to put my face on her. So take that how you will. Because that's how he does things. We've got Biffernaldi, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Says not playing anything until I 1,000 out of 1,000 Assassin's Creed Shadows. Awesome. I just uninstalled it today because I've got 90 hours into it. I didn't 100% any of it, but I got my feel. Great game. Glad I played it. Yudani Kizada, who's an outstanding channel mod and live show mod. Thank you so much, Udani, for everything you do, being here and hanging out with us every week, as well as Happy Bomb taking care of all of this stuff. Udani says, is my buddy Riskett sitting in his car punching the steering wheel while November Rain plays? You know what, Riskett? You'll cry in your car. I'll do the surprise face. I'll say Redfall's game of the year. No one will, they'll never forget it.
There it is.
Riskett says, if I'm wrong, I'll chew my shoe live on the air if he's wrong about the delay of Outer Worlds 2.
Somebody screenshot that.
Yeah. Make it happen. Yeah. Magnum says, I romanced the robot, which is named
Vasco.
Vasco. Yeah. I ditched Vasco as soon as I found a human. Vasco's not as fun.
Oh.
But
I liked Vasco because he didn't sass talk me all the time like Sarah, Miss Morally Righteous. It's like, come on, man.
Move.
Like
Sarah did not it's like Sarah did not that like I'd be in a space battle and there's laser beams going everywhere and I accidentally shoot a USC ship because they get caught in the crossfire. Sarah did not like that. And I turn around, I'm like, I don't care it was your fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody
She's like, did
Starfield.
you leave the seat up? I don't like that.
The space seat.
So annoying.
And you just jettison her at any time. It's great.
I never
Phil,
recurred.
I'm a little bit different when I talk about Phil Spencer these days because I think it's quite odd that Phil does all these interviews and we rarely ever hear from Sarah Bond, the president of Xbox. Ever. Right? Have you noticed this? That we don't hear Sarah Bond says this?
After last May, she's kind of gone quiet a bit. Which is
catch us up on.
It's been a tough year.
Didn't she she got hardballed a question about the Microsoft layoffs? Is that what it was?
It was at the Bloomberg interview, right?
Mm-hmm.
When she had to sit on the couch and talk about going third party right after all of the layoffs and talking about their new business model and being open to exploring other options or expanding their market. And I really haven't, I mean, to be fair, I feel like almost everyone has taken quite a step back from saying a lot in the public for the last year. I think it's hunker down mode. But yeah, Phil is still the one, giving occasional interviews, right? He gave 2 or 3 in January, at least 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Special Nick, right?
Yeah, he's done the podcast circuit.
In Paris. Yep.
What was the one I quoted him on? Talked to The Verge. He talked to The Verge where Tom Warren works. And he said that this is what we're putting out right now this year. And then he said, I'm walking in my brain trying to think about what we've announced because I don't want to spoil anything because they have more games coming in 2025 that haven't been announced yet. And then I'm like, what could it be? And then I realized that they haven't announced Oblivion. Like it literally could just be that one game that he knows that they're announcing Oblivion sometime in April or in a week or so from that interview. And he's like, I want to make sure I don't say anything that hasn't been announced because, they probably know everything like the back of their hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it's probably still fluid too, don't you think? I don't think that
probably still
they have all of them pinned. This is probably still a little fluid too. Sure. On what dates, they might move something in or out of the end of 2025, depending on GTA or other reasons, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I also think they might have a couple of announcements for PlayStation or Nintendo Switch. Mm-hmm. Like Nintendo Switch might get a game that PlayStation doesn't get just by the nature of a partnership or whatever. So like I tried to take that at a safe approach. It feels like we have more because, like Hargit helped me establish that there's 5 games in April. They put out Avowed already. So that's 6. And then we know they have Ninja Gaiden. They have Outer Worlds. That's 8.
Forgot about Ninja Gaiden.
They have Call of Duty. That's 9. They have possibly the Gears trilogy or Gears 1 remaster. That's 10. It just goes on and on.
What about Double Fine? That is my biggest question mark from everything under the Xbox umbrella. What about Double Fine? I love Double Fine. I'm really, really excited to see their next thing. And we know that their experiences are amazing. A little bit smaller experiences. Yes. So do you think that there's a possibility that they could show up in June and have something coming out before the end of the year?
Cloberl said that there's 2 games that Double Fine are working on. One of them being Kiln, where you play as like this purple pot with a sword, and it's a multiplayer team-based brawler. Probably not something I'd be interested in playing at all. But I don't know what the other thing is. Like, they're not working on a Psychonauts sequel. I'm fairly sure they wouldn't be. Like, would they work on another Brutal Legend, or would they remaster Brutal Legend? Like, that would be really cool. But when you talk about like what's Double Fine doing, all you can do is just say, let me just make up something that doesn't exist, because other than Kiln, we don't know what they could be working on. And Kiln has been talked about for 5 years. So more than that.
Yeah.
7 years. I don't know.
Tim Schafer's so cool.
Tim Schafer's
He's
awesome.
so cool. He's so cool.
Phil Spencer said that they had more surprises that he didn't want to spoil, and what are we to showcase? We're 3 weeks away? 4 weeks? No, that's Doom. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we're
4 weeks away, basically.
From Doom?
No, from the showcase.
Sorry.
We're about 4 weeks, maybe a little over 4, right? Is that right?
No.
I don't want to count while I'm here. 1,
6. It's at least 6.
3, 4. It's
June 8th?
It's 4 in a day. It's 4 weeks in a day.
No.
Yeah. Wait, am I counting this right? Oh, this is the whole week. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. It's 5 weeks in a day. I don't like this. I'm looking at my calendar and it's graying out the ones I've already counted. It's 5 weeks in a day. So yeah, it's almost 6 weeks.
Oh.
So it's 4 weeks.
Jeez.
You know what? We're gonna split the difference.
Okay.
I'm wrong. Yeah, we're gonna see a bunch of stuff from
in June.
It's in June, and we're not going. I'm not going. Are you gonna go?
No, I have. Well, since they canceled, I canceled.
Yeah, take that.
That's the story. I quit you too. No, I'm kidding. No, I've got some life stuff that I'm like, well, if this isn't happening, then I'll stay home and take care of the other stuff.
That's kind of where I'm at. If it's not going to be the whole thing, then I'm not going to spend $1,000 flying out there and more on everything else. But
the trip is very expensive.
It is. It's usually worth it though.
Yeah. When there's an Xbox show and yep.
So I was leading up to talk about Phil because I kind of have a bone to pick with some of the things he says. I'm not quite sure if he's right on this one. I'm going to disagree with him, even though I'm probably wrong. Phil Spencer said that Game Pass is not for everyone. And, renting your games and not owning them or not owning physical games is not for everyone. But when I look at 400 plus games that are coming out or that are available on Game Pass, I'm like, and that Xbox Game Pass is available on nearly every device except for a PlayStation and a Switch. Like you are building a service that's for almost all of your consumers. Like they should find that somewhat desirable. Or not, but it's not for everyone, but shouldn't he be trying it to be like everyone should want to be here on Game Pass? But I don't know why I didn't quite agree with what he said, but when I say it out loud, I'm like, yeah, it's not for everyone. It's definitely not.
Well,
maybe I just don't like that.
We have a very good we have a very good friend who is constantly saying Game Pass isn't for me. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not paying for it anymore. You know who that is. And that's a perfect case in point, right?
Yeah.
Like, plays tons of games, doesn't really have any interest in Game Pass because, like, everybody's taste is different, right? I love indies. I like cycling through a lot of indies because indies are a mixed bag. You never know what you're going to get. So with Game Pass and the ones that come in there, I wouldn't have bought those because I don't know what's coming with them. But to be able to play Blueprints, right, is a great example, right? Yeah. There was a lot of buzz around it because of the wide reception and the reviews that it got. But thank goodness it's in Game Pass because that many people now are going to play it more than they would have based on the fact that it did get reviews and it's in Game Pass. So it's those are the kind of win stories that you hear about for indies. And then there's a lot of them that are like an early preview, like Lightyear Frontier is a great game and it's cool. In Game Pass, right? Yeah. It's really cool, right? I
would have never
Power Wash Simulator.
Yeah.
No, I would have never bought that.
I would have never played Vampire Survivors. I wouldn't even looked at it twice, and then I played it for like 40 hours.
Yep. There's tons of those, right? And so for me, who likes to jump into those kinds of games, it's amazing. It's perfect. Love it. And even I will say what it has done too is that the bigger games that are coming out, like South and Midnight, I might not have bought, but I will definitely play it because it's in Game Pass. Or even I was skeptical about Avowed, but I played it, I loved it, and then I will buy it, right? So there's kind of that, like, you know, they say people who own Game Pass don't buy games. It's not true, right? It still has to be a good game, and then I'll buy it later.
The data says that's not true as well. They've had a boost in sales because of Game Pass. People buy games because they see people playing them in Game Pass. This is a good discussion to talk about. Like when I say it's undeniable, or I say Game Pass, how can you, like, imagine not having Game Pass in 2025 when you've got South of Midnight, Avowed, Blueprints, Doom: The Dark Ages, Call of Duty, Ninja Gaiden 4, Outer Worlds 2, Oblivion Remaster. Like, you just look at the year and you're like, how could you not at least dip in for 1 month or at least have it for a chunk of the year? It's unbelievable the value that is there. But then people are like, imagine not owning your games. And I think that is such a massive dose of cope to say, imagine not owning your games, when I know they're saying that because they look at that value proposition. It's undeniable that there are at least 2, maybe 3 games that pay for your yearly subscription that you would want to play, that you would buy, that if you just sub to Game Pass, you're going to save money, and then you're going to have all these other games, and you're going to find at least 1 or 2 games in there throughout the year. You're like, oh my gosh, I would have never fallen in love with this game if I didn't get Game Pass for a few months. And it sounds like an ad, but the cope of someone saying, imagine not owning your games. Like, imagine, I want to grab that guy by the shirt and go, imagine me exposing you and looking at your game progress, and out of the 300 games you bought, you only replayed 2 of them. Like, you play them once and you loved them, and then you move on. And there's nothing wrong with playing a game and absolutely loving it for 20 hours or 80 hours and never going back to it because you move on to the next great thing. And then you look back, you know, man, Far Cry 5 was so fun. It was so great. Have you played it again? No, but I mean, I did everything. It was great. Imagine you played that for $20 on a subscription. I think,
and by the time you do want to replay it, you can get it for like $10. So still a win.
And there is such a validity to, I want to own my games. I get that. I'm over that. Like, I own so many games. I own 1,000 games on Xbox. I own about 300 on PC across the storefronts. I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't need to own them, but I will. I'll own tons of them. But I was on the Steam store yesterday because we were talking about the new Lords of the Fallen update 2.0. Like, it's just phenomenal. It turned the score around on the critic reviews and the user reviews. And I was looking at it, it was $20. I'm like, it's only $20. Like, I don't normally play Souls games, but for $20, I'll give it a try. And my friend Zocker87 was like, Colt, we're talking on the phone. He goes, it's on Game Pass PC. I've been playing it there. I'm like, it is? And I pull up my PC and I installed it right there. I'm like, save me $20. And I've been playing that this week. It's unbelievable. And when Phil says Game Pass isn't for everybody, I mean, I kind of want him to say, everybody should be on Game Pass. You're going to love it. Like, this is the way the industry could go, because Phil wants you to buy your games. He wants you to own them. He wants you to rent them. He wants you to buy a console. He wants you to build a PC. He just wants you to be in the ecosystem so that you are there and they're providing games to you.
Isn't Mag, put my Mag head on.
Yeah.
Colt, I've been telling you the whole time that Phil says that he doesn't really want to sell Game Pass anymore. If the Game Pass is still going, it's a thing, but they're really not. The Game Pass is not their primary service anymore. They'll always have it, but it's not the thing.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of is one of their primary things, right? Because the console is not their primary thing anymore. Yeah.
Yes, and it will always, like, I think, just think to his point, right, is like when they came out with Game Pass, they were pushing it as like, this is the way to go, right? And I think they've kind of pivoted from that, where they're like, here's Game Pass, it's great, but go buy your games too.
It's like,
that'd be
Game
cool.
Pass, sub to it or don't. Go F yourself. Like that. Do what you want all the time. I don't know. I just thought it was funny. I mean, I've got it. How many guys?
Well, even like DeMarco. DeMarco is
Mhm.
a perfect example too of somebody who I said, DeMarco, for your birthday, because it was just DeMarco's birthday. Everybody wished DeMarco happy birthday. It was just his birthday, and I said, I'm gonna buy you the
12?
Oblivion Repurpose. Yeah. He shaved. Yeah, yep. Shaved his head today too.
He did?
Like a little bit, but yes, he made it a video about Oblivion today. So
DM me, Marco. We gotta talk.
Well, it's buzzed. But
I said, I'm a what? I said, what? I thought you turned 12. He's so young. DeMarco, DM me on Discord later. We got to talk. You're not in trouble. Well, he's kind of in trouble.
Yet.
Go ahead. I keep interrupting.
Yeah, but he's a perfect example of somebody who's like, look, and he only has PC, he doesn't have consoles. He's like, I said, I'm going to get you the Oblivion Repurpose, because I don't know what to call it yet, for your birthday.
It's called the Remaster.
And
That's
he's
what
like,
leaked.
Well, but it's some, we think, but he said, I'm going to get that for you. And yeah, 1.8
Oblivion reupholstered.
Recycled. They said, I'm going to get that for your birthday. And he said, well, it's okay. I got Game Pass this month so that I could play Claire Obscura and Doom. So he's like, so I get all three for so like, he's one that's totally like, I turn it on for a month, I turn it off for a month, I turn it on for a month whenever I want. I'm not like that, like, good for him. But I also buy the codes and I'm paid up through like September of 2027. But
Jeez.
But but
a lot of faith that Xbox won't just fold like a house of cards. I'm just kidding.
Well, I bought them like a year ago before all of the stuff, but they'll be here.
They will.
They'll be here.
I'm going to put, instead
Xbox
of,
is fine.
I'm going to put a channel member lasagna in the chat for DeMarco because it looks like a piece of cake. It looks like strawberry.
There you go. It's Italian cake, and he's Italian.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, some people get won over, but I mean, I was mad. There's a couple of years where Game Pass was duty, but it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
DeMarco says, please don't hit me. I'm sensitive. He's very, very small and frail and cute. We like DeMarco. Yeah. I don't know. When Phil says that, yeah, I know. I agree. It's not for everyone. But I'm like, you definitely have the clout and the games on offer to say, Phil should have said Game Pass isn't for everyone, but kind of for everyone. Like we've got everything in there. Like that's what I would have said. And I don't know.
You need to. I get it. It's like when the marathon guys were like, "Look, our game isn't for everyone," and I was like, "Why would you say that?
Don't say." The PR guy's like,
"Why would you say that?" Yeah,
don't.
yeah. Like,
you guys are probably gonna hate this, but we hope that you like it. Like, no. Just stick to the script.
Right. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
If you build it, they will come. That's.
I mean,
what I like
Game Pass is amazing right now. It like Adamfall. Adamfall, like
you should totally play Adamfall.
I totally need to get back to Adamfall. I would have never. Oh, it's such a horrible thing to say, Holly, because it's the admittance that I wouldn't have bought that game if I didn't get it for free. But there are some games in the world that you're not convinced to buy them. And games pass us by all the time because we don't want to buy them. But the model to get an a la carte, easy on the wallet access to tons of games is really great. And the quality of the games that have been Game Pass, even Tim Dog has been piping up quite a bit this past couple days because he's excited about Oblivion. He's a big fan. And he's just been talking praises about the Game Pass model. Like, they're going to end the year with like a dozen games just from their studios.
I would say this year is the perfect banner marketing for Game Pass because you cannot buy, some people can, right? But the average person cannot just go and buy all of these games and every month, right, at full price. It's just not realistic for most people to say, I'm just going to go buy every single game that's coming. Like you just did the list of those are just Xbox games, let alone add in, right, the Claire, Obscura, add all of them in, Assassin's Creed, yada, yada, yada. And so it's the perfect marketing for, you don't have to spend all of your money. Look at all of these games that we just dropped and you can get it all for $20 a month or whatever it is right now. Because it is just too impossible. And don't feel the pressure because our Xbox first party games are always there.
I get peeved when people are like,
probably.
Like one game on that list looks good. I'm like, one guy said that Doom Eternal or Doom the Dark Ages looks like a downgraded Eternal. And I'm like,
you're like, if it was me, I'd be
like look at it. Look at it.
Yes. And like, I don't think you're looking at the same game I'm looking at.
I grabbed the shields. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, downgraded Doom Eternal. I mean, you can look at stuff like South Midnight and go, no, why would I want to play that? Or Avowed, why would I want to play that? And then you see Claire Obscure and like there's so many people like, oh my gosh, like people just aren't being honest. Because I think the competition, like if PlayStation said all of our games are in our new subscription service, like PlayStation Plus Prime or whatever they would call it, where it included Ghost of Yotai and Death Stranding 2. Oh my gosh, I swear they would print money with the subscriptions that would fly off the shelves. That's all they'd have to say. Like they don't even have a big year. And all I have to say is you can get all of our first party games going forward and for $200 a year, they would get access to Death Stranding day one. And they would get Ghost of Yotai. Like that's $140 right there for $200 plus whatever the games they throw in there. Like that's your advertising. They would go from 50 million PS Plus subscribers to probably close to 70 million, like instantly, because the value proposition of Game Pass is unbelievably incredible right now. And last year I told you it sucked. So, and somebody in the chat wrote, Phil's just keeping it real. And I'm like, absolutely. I agree. He is keeping it real. Sorry. I keep stepping on you because I get impassionate about it.
No. It's just, I was just going to say, to be fair, I do have a PlayStation. I don't turn it on that often. And, my Twitter feed is probably a little more skewed towards Xbox, but I don't see a lot of stuff about what's in their premium tier on the PlayStation Plus subscription service. Like hardly at all. I don't know. Is it worth it? I don't know. Maybe it is, but I just don't see any marketing for it that often. They don't send me emails about it. I don't get anything through the PlayStation app on my phone that says, "Hey, we've added this or that to the premium tier." We all know, of course, right? They don't add the first day and date games.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll add Marathon.
They might have to. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I have a very skewed Twitter follower presence as well, and 76% said they're playing Borderlands 4 over Marathon, and it's only like 3,000 votes, but I had probably just about 3,000 people say neither. So, but I'm like, it's a poll. Like, just pick which one I said which one you most likely play the day it comes out, and even I'm sure people have an opinion when they look at Marathon and Borderlands, and somebody's like, I need you to sit down and play test one of these. Like, which one would you pick? If you didn't want to buy one or you didn't want to play, like, what would you choose? And Meg and I had that discussion last week, and Meg's like, I'm going Borderlands. I already know what Borderlands is. Like, I don't need to be surprised on what Marathon is. I already know I want to play Borderlands. We got a super chat here.
Play test. I'm dying to get into that alpha. I did not get the email, which makes me super sad. But I'd love to play the Marathon alpha and see what it's like. I want it to be. I like multiplayer games. So
yeah, I know you do.
Certain multiplayer games. I don't like, like Valorant. And those just aren't my jam. Like the one and done, more like the search and destroy modes. But I do like multiplayer, so I would like to try it, but not pay $40 for it. Try
Yeah,
it
I saw a report
to
today.
play with.
Yeah, I mean, if we got a good group of friends together to try it one night in an alpha, I'm sure we'd have an okay time. I just wonder if I know
All
myself.
about community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just know myself, I guess. Like, we'll have a bunch of fun, and they'll say, you guys want to play a 7th match? I'll be like, I'm kind of tired. Because I don't have as much fun doing that. Now, if you because I'm dumb. If you put me in a, like, Circle of Slaughter in Borderlands, like a game I already like, and we're just going to throw a bunch of creatures at you and you kill them over and over and do the waves, like, there's no thinking there. But I will have such a good time. Like, I don't want to do the extraction thing. I just don't like it. I'm dumb. Red Wolf, speaking of dumb.
The difference. Oh, sorry.
Oh, good.
No, I was just going to say the difference is that, like, Call of Duty multiplayer, you don't need to have a friend to just go play multiplayer. Who cares, right? You're just matching into these things and doing an objective. These types of games where they're squad based, you really do need to have some friends to make it impactful, to do well, to have fun. Anyway, that's it. Tell me what Red said.
Yeah, I said, speaking of dummy, because, it's fun to insult your friends. It builds relationships of trust and long-lasting memories. Red Wolf, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Super generous. Appreciate you. Oh, by the way, Red Wolf, I've got this box over here that I'm going to ship to you.
Oh my gosh.
I just need to, I don't know if I mentioned, but I need to go take an errand.
Red Wolf, I think you should drive over and go pick it up.
Yeah, that's really what we're getting at. So if you've got a car that can drive all the way across the country, just do it. It'd be a great way to stay in shape. Red Wolf says, back in the day, you insert a disc, the game plays. Nowadays, you insert the disc and the game plays. There's no difference. Who has ever cared about internal operations with hardware? I'm trying to, I don't know what he means here, because he only plays physical. Back in the day, you insert the disc and game plays. Nowadays, it's the same. You insert the disc, the game plays. Some of them download the patch or the rest of the game. Who's ever cared about internal operations? I mean, you shouldn't push on someone that, imagine not owning your games physically and have them on a shelf, like in the cases. And if people do that, that's cool. Like, I think it's cool if they show me a picture, like, look at all the games I own, and they're all stacked up on a shelf. I'm like, I understand why that's so important. But I'm not going to go, here's a screenshot of all my games I own digitally, but those are really important to me. And music ownership was really important, and I used to steal them from Napster. Don't call the cops. But now I stream everything. I've been paying $15 a month to stream every song I've ever wanted to stream. I don't own anything. When people say, imagine not owning your games, I'm like, imagine you not owning any of those shows or movies you watch on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, HBO Max. Shut up.
It's more about just making sure you have access. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is, okay, well, if I don't own it, can I always have access to it somewhere?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's just what people are always, I guess it'll always be an argument because it's a dividing factor between two types of gamers. Like, I'm playing all the games I want and I have all this access to all these titles. Some of them are brand new. And then the other people saying, I like to own something. I want to buy it. I want to tangibly see it in my inventory, or I want to see it on a case. And like, that's fine. It's fine. One more. An excellent chef. Thank you for the Canadian $5 super. It says Game Pass helps keep gaming cheap, especially in this economy right now. I don't have it because I already have the games I like playing. An excellent chef. I thought the same thing about Ubisoft Plus. Why don't you subscribe to Ubisoft Plus? And I'm always like, I've already bought and played all the Ubisoft games that I want to. There's one left. I'm ready to give like a real true test of Star Wars Outlaws again. But at $60 or $70, I don't think it's the right price for me. I could get Ubisoft Plus and play the game all month long for $20. But then, is this going to sound dumb? I don't want to put a reminder on my phone to cancel it at the end of the month because I know I won't need it after a month's time. That's how I am. I don't know. But you liked it. You liked Star Wars Outlaws, didn't you?
Did. I tried it on Ubisoft Plus for 1 month, but that was around the time when Dead Rising came out, and I thought I was going to go hop on that. Boy, was I wrong! But I canceled the Ubisoft Plus after the month, and I do really... I enjoyed it, and I think it's better now than it was at launch. I didn't have quite the same issues with it that some of the other people did. So now I'm just waiting for it to go on sale to add to my collection so that I can actually play it when I want. Yeah. Correct, sir.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll probably give it a shot, but now I don't know. What's that?
I don't want to do that on a subscription service because I do own all the Ubisoft Plus like all the Ubisoft games that I enjoy, I own. And I don't want to be rushed to try to get through the game in a month just to stay into that $20 range when I could buy it on sale for probably $40, right? And just own it and play it whenever I want. And because Ubisoft Plus is a little bit different, right? Because it's a lot of money. Ubisoft Plus is a lot. Now, it has tons of stuff, but
it's $2 more, but it gives you like the deluxe version of the game, right? And
yeah, but
that's the same argument that a non-Game Pass person has, the one that you and I are having. Like, do I want to spend $18 to get Game Pass plus the online thing? And what am I going to play? Like, I want to play as much as I can in that time and get the most out of that money. But when you subscribe for a while, you just get, I remember subscribing to Netflix. It's like, at first you're like, and then it just becomes a norm. You just kind of have to have it. I don't know. We're pay pigs, I suppose. One last thing I will say, that if you do want the Avowed coin from Xbox Fan Art, when this video goes up and is posted public in the next half an hour or 20 minutes, leave a comment about Avowed, your experience with Avowed. Don't use a hashtag because hashtags sometimes get held for review by YouTube system. Just say something about Avowed, reference Avowed, or say something about the game. And if you're a channel member, I will pick 3 winners for this copper, wonderful colored coin that is awesome and showcases a great game from Xbox. And that's the show. That's the show. And I'm so glad that, I'm sorry Mag was gone because I miss him, but I'm so glad I got to have that blue number on here. She's all right, I guess. Just whatever. She's great. She's amazing. I'm glad to have you here. Thank you so much. Tell everybody what you're up to and how they can see more of Holly and they can sub, I think, by following the link in the description. Let me check, make sure it works. But tell us about you.
Yeah, Yodani and Happy Bomb have been very generously putting my links in the chat, and I super appreciate it. Shout out to you two for being the awesome mods that you are, and then adding that for me. I am on Twitter at That Blue Number, all of the gaming platforms That Blue Number, and on YouTube now. I started streaming about a month ago. Lost 2 subs this week. Don't know how to
No!
the first time I've lost subs, but that's all right.
Welcome to the club.
I streamed. Yeah. Now I like when Red used to be like, "Oh, my life is over. I lost 5 subs."
I would call him in the morning. I'm like, hey,
dead.
bro, how's it going? He's like, I lost 2 subs. I'm like, I lost 15. No!
Oh man, it's the new thing. So yeah, I'm streaming games over there now. I do a little bit of chit chat beforehand or during the middle or after. You'll just have to wait and see. I started Tales from the Borderlands, which is a Telltale game from 2015. Saturday, I did 3 of the 5 episodes. I'm gonna try to wrap up the other 2 this week. And I'll stream something else. I'm going to try to do some co-streams with some other content creators, just playing games, laughing, doing whatever. All in anticipation of dun, 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 dun.
That was the worst Doom soundtrack. I'm not playing the game now because of that.
It was like Doom Bonanza.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
It's
I don't know how
Doom.
to. I don't.
The rant changes.
I don't know how to heavy metal with. I'm gonna stop there. Somebody asked about the inside of this. It is not reversible in the sense that you can, in the sense that you could Velcro it in reverse. However,
or have access to the disk drive or the power button or the.
Yeah, any of that stuff. Right. But here's the inside. It's really cool. I didn't know all that stuff was on the inside. Sorry, just take a second of that.
Yeah, the inside
I'm gonna be
is really cool. Yeah.
It's almost better than the outside. I'm gonna be streaming
There's no Xbox
starting
in
May
there this whole
13th.
time?